three quarterbacks, Mike, on those two teams that we saw last night that you wonder what their futures are. Marcus Mariota, Baker Mayfield, and Sam Darnold. All three of those guys, I wonder what the future holds for them. I think Mariota's proved that he can be a solid backup in this league, but he's not a starter. 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 10 games this season. He's been okay. He hasn't been terrible aside from when he was sacked and tried to throw the ball from his back, but he has not been terrible overall this season. He just kind of been okay. Can you win with okay? Maybe they win the division with okay with Marcus Mariota, but are you going to win a Super Bowl with Marcus Mariota? I don't think so. I think he's a backup, and I think after the season he'll be a backup, whether it's in Atlanta or somewhere else.
And the question for Darnold and Mayfield, will they accept that?
Yeah.
Will they humble themselves? Baker Mayfield's done a great job this year of not being a problem, not being an issue. Now, maybe he's biting his tongue the whole time, but he has been a model citizen after being a pain in the butt in Cleveland for several years. There he is headbutting. Hey, Baker, I would only do that with a helmet on. But, he's supporting the team. He's doing what he has to do. He's not grousing. He's not complaining. He's not leaking stories from sources close to the situation saying that Mayfield's upset and he's better than P.J. Walker and he's not getting a fair shake. And maybe he's just maturing, Shireen, but that maturity is going to be tested if next year he doesn't get an offer to go somewhere and be a starter, or his best play will be a Mitch Trubisky type deal. And there's a guy like this every year. Oh, hey, come on in on a 2-year contract. It pays you really good backup money. You're our guy. Oh, wait, sorry about that.
We
drafted a guy in round 1. Yeah, we drafted a guy in round 1. So you're our guy until the guy we just drafted is ready. Baker Mayfield of a couple years ago wouldn't stand for it. You get to a point where you realize either I want to still be in the NFL or I don't. And sometimes if you want to be in the NFL, you got to accept the terms that are available. And it may be that's the best deal he's going to find when March rolls around.
Yeah, and I was impressed with both of those guys. We saw Baker Mayfield congratulating his teammates. Sam Darnold did the same thing. He wasn't dressed out. He is on the 53-player roster. Why they elevated him to the 53-player roster and then didn't dress him, I don't know. I thought that might have been their intent, but they didn't do that. So I guess they had to because he was practicing. But it will be interesting going forward if they dress Sam Darnold and then Baker Mayfield's the number 3 quarterback, Mike, how he handles that. Maybe he handles that a little differently than what we've seen over the past few weeks with him being the number 2 quarterback. But, yeah, I don't know what his future is. I don't know if he's going to accept being a backup somewhere. And like you said, somebody might sign him as a bridge quarterback, but I don't even know how he's going to handle that, knowing that he's grooming a young guy to take his place eventually, because he thinks that he deserves another opportunity to be a starter somewhere. And I really don't think, in his defense, I don't think he got a fair opportunity this year simply because he got to Carolina so late. It's difficult to learn a new offense, learn your teammates, what they like in the short amount of time that he had. Maybe it would have worked out if he had gotten there for the whole offseason program, but it didn't, so now he is where he is.
Hindsight is always 20/20, but if I were him, I just would have stayed in Cleveland, taken my $19.9 million this year. It was 18.8 with 16 games. The 17-game check made it 19.9, nearly $20 million, and say to Cleveland, deal with me. I'm here. I'll be the backup. I'll do whatever. I'm here. My money's guaranteed. If you want to cut me, fine. I'll sit out a year. It didn't hurt Deshaun Watson to sit out a year. And if anything, this year that he's experienced makes him have less cachet, less sizzle, less attractiveness to teams that are going to be looking for guys on the open market. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.